Welcome back, everyone. August 14th, 2022. I hope you are all having a good end to your weekend. It is Sunday evening here in the northeast of the United States, and we have an earthquake swarm to talk about, a fairly big one that's taking up the entire southwest of the Pacific Ocean. You can see here we have volcano discovery opened up, and we're looking at the last 2 days of seismic activity, but pretty much every one of these earthquakes has fallen into the last day and a half, and more specifically, these down here have happened in the last few hours, including a 7.0 just north of New Zealand right here. It was downgraded to a 6.7, but I can assure you this was a 7 to a 7.2 earthquake. And then just moments ago, southeast of the Loyalty Islands, we had a 6.4 downgraded to a 6.2. And what's good about these is we can finally rely on the USGS to provide some info on these significant earthquakes, all taking place relatively along the same part of the Pacific Ocean, a very known place for large, deep earthquakes. Now, before we go into detail on those earthquakes, we're going to take a look at our solar flare list, or our CMEs, over the last few days. And you can see here, starting around the end of the 11th, going through the 13th, we had a lot of different solar flares take place. None of them that big, but as we've said here on this channel, when you have multiple solar flares taking off in rapid succession, they basically multiply themselves. And now that that energy has made it to Earth, we could see the results of it. And again, those earthquakes tend to happen in the most vulnerable places, and this is a very vulnerable place on Earth for major earthquakes. So let's take a look at this list, and then we'll go back to volcano discovery and see all the other secondary quakes that have taken place because of this. But right off the bat, as we said, this was a 7.0 to a 7.2. The USGS has it registered as a 6.6. That is the earthquake that took place just north of New Zealand. You can see right here, south of the Kermadec Island. And now take a look at this red one here. That means it just took place moments ago. If we go ahead and click on that one, that is southeast of the Loyalty Islands. We'll zoom in here a bit, and you can see it is just to the east of New Caledonia, right along the fault line there. And we've also got a few earthquakes in Vanuatu right here, all along this fault line here. It bends up through Fiji, and then as we go down in between Samoa and Tonga, we can scroll down this way, and you see that large earthquake to the north of New Zealand. So we can see a clear-cut pattern here. In fact, the 4 largest earthquakes of the day have all taken place towards the end of yesterday into today. So we have the 6.6, 6.2, 5.9, 5.7. You can see the 5.7 is right here, east-northeast of Lakit, Indonesia. So again, along the same fault line patterns that run through Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, and then we get towards New Caledonia, Fiji, Tonga, and as we said before, down towards New Zealand. Jumping over to volcano discovery, we can see in the last 24 hours, all of these earthquakes have taken place. If we go ahead and hit magnitudes of 5.0 and higher over the last 2 days, we can see some more fill-in quakes there, some aftershocks taking place after that large quake north of New Zealand. And if we zoom in here a little bit more, we had another 5.1 show up between that 6.2 in New Caledonia and the other 5.7 to 6.0 that took place near Vanuatu. In fact, we should incorporate these other earthquakes as well. About 24 hours ago, a 5.3 off the coast of Russia, and then just hours ago, we had a 5.2 downgraded from a 5.5 near the Rat Islands / Aleutian Islands of Alaska. Now, that is one place I want everyone to keep an eye on. We are due for a pretty large quake in Alaska. It's been a while since we've had a major earthquake there, but I can assure you those are definitely coming. Now, speaking of what's to come, we just had a pretty significant solar flare or filament release from the sun just hours ago. In fact, the data has just shown up to where we can actually see this taking place. And if we take a look at this chart here, this lets us know when that energy is going to get to Earth. So Earth is this yellow dot right here in this chart to the east of the sun being this center mass right here. And then if we go up to the chart here, you could see the Earth is that yellow dot, and then each of the other planets is marked by a different color. So we can see, according to this chart, this filament release, or CME, has left the sun on August 14th and is expected to hit Earth between the 17th and the 18th, which means we should be expecting a large increase in earthquakes, and once again, more than likely in the areas that are most prone to them. Now, that does not disclude random earthquakes in random areas. That's been happening a lot lately as well. But when it comes to making educated guesses about where these will take place, again, it depends on what part of the Earth is facing the sun at the moment of that energy impact. And then throughout the day, as the Earth turns into that energy, different parts of the Earth will be affected at different times. So the long and short of it, my friends, is that we've had a busy few days in the Southwest Pacific as far as seismic activity, and we have another upcoming period of time where our solar activity and the seismic activity is going to be on a rise. This has become a theme over the last few months and even the past year and a half. So just like any of those other times, it is important to keep your eyes open, stay updated on these situations and these charts. It's very important, and I will keep you all updated as this situation situation progresses. All right, my friends, that's what I got for you for now. I hope the rest of your weekend goes well. I will see you here tomorrow with another video. In fact, we may be talking about something interesting that is being predicted for California. I'll just leave it at that. Some of you may have heard of this already, but we'll get into that tomorrow. Thank you all so much for being here. Shout out to Canada, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.